Good morning, everyone. It is Brenda here for Simplicity, and welcome to What's Up Wednesday on Saturday. I apologize. Life got in the way on Wednesday evening and was unable to do my live. So I promised I would postpone it, and here we are this morning. So happy Saturday, everyone. Um, so today we're going to have some fun with birthday cards and Pretty Pink Posh. Now, Pretty Pink Posh is a newer company to Stamplicity, and we received their birthday collection a while ago, and I thought it would be super fun to play with it today because it is very fun, and I think it's fun for all ages. So there's going to be a variety of dies I'm going to be playing with. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this one for sure, but we've got this great little party hat. And the cool thing about this party hat is that you can make it into shakers. All right. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that. This is Let's Party. I just grabbed it in case I needed it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using that, but it's a great little sentiment. Let's party in a nice script. And then you have the shadow with it as well. And then this one here, I am in love with this one. This one is called Birthday Cake Pops. So it makes cake pops, but I'm going to show you a different way of using it as well. All right, so we've got that one. What else do we got here? Oh, we've got, oh, this one here is not in the packaging, but I will show you anyways. I didn't repackage it. But we've got this lovely little birthday cake slice. All right. And this one too is super fun because you can make it into a shaker. So I'm going to be showing you how to do that as well. And then I might be having a few little elements from other companies, but I'll talk about them as we go through. So let's make some birthday cards with Pretty Pink Posh. And let's get started. All right. So, good morning to everyone that's showing up, tuning in, and good morning to those that are watching on the replay. So, okay, so let's get started. I want to start with that cake pop die. This one is definitely jam-packed with goodness, all right? So, we've got three different shapes of cake pop. So we've got kind of that rectangle. It looks like a marshmallow, all right? So just think of that as you could do a nice campfire or camping card with roasted marshmallows. I think that'd be super cool. You've got the round cake pop and then the star cake pop. And again, all these elements could be used on its own. You can make them into balloons. They've got the little glaze or icing coatings there. You're going to have some decorative elements in terms of bows. You've got party hats. You got candles, decorative elements to decorate the actual cake pops. And then, of course, down here are your sticks. All right. So there's lots in this one. So let's just start with, now I pre-cut everything because there's a lot of die cutting for this. Um, so I just did last night, I did all my prep work here and I've just die cut some of the elements here. And we're going to just make it as a cake pop card. All right. So I have a base here. Now this base, take a look at this, guys. Look how beautiful this is. All right, this is from Emily Moore Designs. Again, new company to Stamplicity. They've only been in business for about a year and a half. I did show them a while ago, but oh, this is my go-to. I love this die here, which is the one that I'm using as my base. I love the little detail on the border, the little scallop detail on the edge. It is beautiful. There's also a smaller one and then some layering elements there. But we're going to use this one here as our base. All right, so I just cut it out of white cardstock. Okay, let me get my tweezers here because we're going to start putting these together. So I just cut out the cake pops, all right? So this is the base, and then this is the icing overlay. All right. So I'm just going to glue these together. We're going to make just a simple card with this. So I made this, or I cut these out with just kind of some soft cream, soft pink. And then of course we needed to have chocolate in there. So I got a great brown here for the chocolate. All right. So we're just going to glue those overlays right on the bases, really quick and simple. All right. So and then we have another one here. All right, so I have three cake pops. I didn't use the star one. I just did two circles and one of the rectangle ones. Um, and all of them have icing. Okay, so there are my 3 cake pops. I'm gonna go ahead and put them on the cake pop sticks. All right, so I think this is a nice alternative than a birthday cake. Something a little bit different, right? So, all right, so the cake pops are just gonna go on the sticks. And then I'm gonna show you how to kind of decorate these to make them extra special. All right. So, we all have these shaker elements in our collections, and sometimes we tend to forget about them because we use them for shakers, but they also make great decorative elements on here. So look at my cute little cake pops, super sweet. Now this little squiggle one is going to fit on the rectangle one here. All right. So it's just going to be kind of a squiggle, kind of icing on there. So we're going to put that one on that. And the other two, I'm going to use shaker elements to decorate them. Okay, so let me just place this on. Got a little crazy with the glue. We got some over gluing going on here. Okay. So there is our rectangle cake pops. Super cute. Love that. I'm going to put that here. All right. So then I have a shaker mix here. And this shaker mix is from Buttons Galore and More. This is a mix-up, so it's going to be a combination of flat back gems, clay pieces. What else is in there? Sequins. All right, this one's called Sonic Boom, and I love it because you've got sprinkles in there, you've got stars, you've got shiny stuff. I think it just shouts out birthday. All right, so I grabbed that one, and then on the let's see, on one of these. I picked out some of the white star pieces, so I'm gonna put these on here. All right, so I'm just gonna put oh, my glue is like really oozing out. All right, so how many do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I got lots, so I can really decorate this. Okay, so I'm just gonna place my shaker elements now on here. All right, so it's really nice that when you have one of these gem picker uppers, because it's going to make placing of these small little elements really easy. All right, so now we're giving this a little bit of texture. All right, so now we've got, oh, that one's a little close there. That's okay. This is how I cake decorate, everyone. My sister is a cake decorator. She's got her own little side business with it. And she does an amazing job with her cake decorating. But oh my gosh, it takes her forever to do. But she does such an awesome job with it. She enjoys it. Not my thing. So this is my type of cake decorating. No baking involved. All right, so this one here, I'm going to put little gems in here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, these came from that pack. So now we've got some nice little decorative elements on here. Oopsie. All right. That one keeps on flipping over on me. All right. And there's big ones and little ones in here. It looks like I just grabbed all the bigger ones and one little one. That makes no sense, but whatever. We're just going to go with it. Okay, so there is my 2 little or 3 little cake pops now. We've got 2 with a lot of texture. I'm going to bring those up to the camera because my lighting is a little off here. All right, so you can see that one. And then this one here. All right, so there are my little cake pops. All right, so let's put them, I'll go ahead and put them on my card now. So I'm gonna do the two circular ones on the outside, and then the middle one, that rectangle one, we're gonna put in the center, but we're gonna put a wobble behind it, all right? So let me grab some foam adhesives. All right, so let's do, I gotta be careful because that glue's not set on these. All right, so we're gonna put this one at an angle right about there. I'll worry about the little sticks afterwards. Okay, so there are our two cake pops. I'm gonna glue down now the little sticks here. So I'm just gonna put a spot of glue at the end of them, and then I'm just gonna hold them down for that glue to tack. All right, so there's that. All right, now this one I thought would be fun on a wobble. All right, so if you're not familiar with what a wobble is, from Pear Blossom Press, these are called mini action wobbles. These are the mini ones. There's also large ones as well. And these are fun. They you put this behind elements and then these things wobble, all right? And we've had, I mean, they're nothing new. They've been around for a while, but we had a hard time sourcing them out again. And so finally Pear Blossom Press has them. They are in a 10 pack, and they're self-adhesive as well. So, which is kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off the top here. All right. And then I'm going to grab my cake pop and I'm going to stick that right behind it and give it a good little press down. Okay. All right. So that is stuck on there. I'm just going to show you the inside. There is that spring. All right. And that's what makes this kind of fun. All right. So the spring is going to allow this to kind of wobble once it's down. All right. And then on the back side, the flat side here is adhesive back too. So I'm going to peel this off. Good morning, everyone. I see everyone's finding us this morning. This is kind of an odd time, but I missed Wednesday. So for What's Up Wednesday, so we're here on Saturday. So good morning to all those joining in. All right. I have no nails. Yes, this should not be as difficult as this is. Everything is more difficult when you're on camera. When you're live on camera, the easiest things become, there we go. There's one half of it. All right, there we go. All right, so that is now off, and now we're going to place this right kind of in the center. Sorry, it got stuck on the other one there. Okay, so now this is going to wobble. How fun is that, right? Now, I don't want to glue this down the stem or the stick because otherwise it won't wobble. But how fun is that? All right, so we've got the little cake pops there. All right. So then we could put a sentiment on here. You just want to make sure that you don't like stick this down. Otherwise it will not wobble. But if you stick a sentiment down, and then maybe I will find one to stick one down in my finished product or project. I would just put foam adhesives on the either side so still that stick has room to move. All right. So how cute is that? I'm going to put this on a pink base. And then as always, I will take a picture of the finished projects and then post them here on our Facebook page. But that is just a fun little, it's kind of got a more mature feel to it. This would be perfect for a little, a sweet 16 party, a little birthday card, right? But you could definitely change up those colors of the cake pops and make them more playful. All right. So there is our first kind of sample. Again, I'm going to put this on a pink base and maybe find a little sentiment to go on there. And like I said, I will post that in our Facebook page later on. All right. Let's show you another way of using that cake pop die. And this one here, sorry, there's gonna be lots of gluing on this one, guys. But I decided to use the waffle flower postage collage die. This is our number one selling die. If you do not have this in your collection, you need to have it because there's so much you can do with this one. And I think a lot of people look at it as a waffle flower and see that the stamps that go kind of coordinated with it from waffle flower. Um, they may, it may not be your style, but we have used this with 49 in market and it is gorgeous. Janice has done some really great samples with it, but we like to use it as a base for a lot of things. Again, if you don't have this in your collection, you got to get it, guys, because it's not going away. This has been out for a couple years now, and it's still, every time we bring it in, we sell out of it. So anyways, I'm going to show you a fun little way of using this. So I just cut the base. All right, this is what it looks like when it's cut out. All right, and it fits on an A2 panel really nicely. All right, so I have an A2 panel here. All right, so it frames in onto an A2 panel really, really nicely. You can still put a mat behind it if you wanted to. All right, so I'm going to start with this. I'm sorry, there's a lot of gluing on this again, but I like this little rectangle guy. I mean, he's supposed to be a cake pop, but I also think he looks like a cake. All right, so I cut him out as a chocolate cake with a vanilla icing. All right, so we've got our little cake here. So I'm just going to kind of build my little postage collage here. All right, so my cake is going to go down here. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and glue or put this down as I'm gluing. All right, just going to build this up. I'm going to put some sprinkles on this cake in a second, and that's all the fun embellishing, but there is our cake. Then what I did is I cut the icing part of the circle one, okay, and then I cut a base of the rectangle, but I trimmed it in half here, and I'm making this into a cupcake. All right, so there is our little cupcake. All right, so I'm going to put that right. Actually, I think no, I'm not going to pop this one up. Let's just glue it down. All right, so I'm going to put this one in this upper middle one here. And we're actually going to put candles on this one. All right, or a candle on this one. So we have that. Then we've got these great little party hats. There are two in the collection. One's got polka dots and one's got stripes. All right, so there is that. So I'm going to put them in this kind of top right hand. It's kind of more of a taller rectangle here. And then, so I'm putting those at an angle. Then there's the little hat tops. I don't know what you want to call them, but all right, what did I cut them out of? I have a yellow. Let's do the yellow here. And then I have a green one. Okay, so there's that. Then there's a polka dot. It's meant to do like little decorative balls for your cake pops. All right, but I just cut some of them out, and then I'm just going to glue them onto the party hat here. Now there's polka dots already kind of debossed in there, but I'm just going to add some, and I cut them out of a couple of different colors here. So I'm just going to place them. And it's nice because it cuts out like 5 or 6 at a time. So it makes it easy to cut out. So that is my little decorative party hat there. Super sweet. All right, then we have some stars. So this was a star, and this actually, this is this star here. That will actually fit on your cake pop as well. But I like the fact that it is an outline, and then you get the inside. So we can layer this up. So I'm going to use this in the bottom here. I just love that these are all proportioned so nicely to fit into this postage collage die. Okay, so we've got the stars. All right, then in this corner, I thought, oh, we can do some of these lovely little squiggles just for a pop of color. I'm realizing that I may have been an overachiever for today and what I want to get done, but we'll get through it. All right, I really want to show you those shaker cards because they're just so much fun. All right, so I'm going to layer 2 of these squiggles on just for that pop of color. Okay, and then in this bottom corner here, I was like stuck. I didn't know what to do. So there is a little row of star sprinkles in here. So I just thought, well, let's just do random stars in here. So that's what I'm going to do. And I cut them out of 3 or 4 different colors. So I'm just going to fill this little rectangle with stars. Just an easy way to decorate and fill that space. Oh, I got orange here and I didn't even use any. And one more yellow. All right, so now we've just, I'm gonna do one more orange in here just to balance it out. Okay, so that fills in that little space. And then like I said, I have a candle here and maybe we'll put all 3 of them on there. So the candle, when you cut it out, it's this die here, all right? It's got the little lines on there and then you've got the 3 little flames, all right? So I think I'm going to do all 3. I just cut them out of yellow and orange. You could have some fun and do the stripes on there. You could color them in if you wanted to. I just cut them out of cardstock just to be easy peasy. Okay, so one. I lost my other flame. Oh, it's stuck to my finger. Do you ever do that? I do that all the time. I'm always looking for pieces and they're always stuck to my hand because I always have gluey hands all the time. Okay, so our little candles here. So first one down is going to be the center one. I'm going to put this on the cupcake. Oh, these are a little, I might have to trim it down a little bit for my space. A little too big. All right. That's better. So one. All right, so we have our little cupcake with, oops, the candles. All right, and then I got this decorative bow. No, I won't put the bow on. Okay, now what I thought then I could grab some of these lovely sequins or sprinkles and let's just put some on the cake as decoration. All right, so again, I'm just going to put a few little dots of glue here, there, and everywhere. And then all you need to do now is pick up these sprinkles and place them, and then don't mess with them. Let the glue dry, but it makes it for a super fun birthday cake. Ooh, that one's got 2 stuck together. Oh, I don't think I want red. I don't have any red on here. Oh, I did stick a red one on there. And I'm going to put one green one on here. And then that one will be done. And again, I'll mat this onto another card base or panel. All right. Something a little bit playful. And there we go. I mean, that's another way of using that cake pop in a different design. All right. So there is that. How fun is that? All right. So that is the cake pop die. All right. So we've done it as a little decorative collage there. And then we've done the actual cake pops. All right. So those are the 2 for that one. But let's move on to some of the other dies from this collection. All right. Let's move on to the party hats. All right, so this party hat one is a really simple die. All right, you have let me just open this up to really show you. Okay, so there are two dies for the party hat. There's the outline die, and it's got that great stitching detail on there, which I love. All right, so you can make a really fun party hat with that one by itself. Then it's got the inset die. Now you could actually cut an extra one and place that over top, and then have a colorful one. You can also use this to cut a window for your shaker dies, and that's what we've done. All right, so then you've got the little top of your hat that you can die cut and overlay on top of this to make it colorful. And then you've got these little polka dots here, and you can use those polka dots to decorate your party hat or use them as shaker elements. So different ways to use this die. So I want to do two little kind of samples here using this. Just tidy up a little bit here. All right. So the first one is I'm going to show you how to make this into a shaker element. All right. So here's what I did. I used that main die and cut it out of a lime green. Then I used the inside die, all right, to cut out the center to make that window. All right. So now I'm going to be using both pieces here. Am I? No, I'm not. I'm not. I kept this one to show you that was the inside. Then I cut the base out of it, all right? So I just used plain white. Now what we're going to do is we are going to now use some acetate and put it behind our window, then pop it up on here, and that's going to create our shaker, and then we'll decorate it, all right? So let me grab a piece of acetate, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this as a reference. I'm just going to cut my piece slightly bigger than that, just to make it a little bit easier. So I'll use my scissors and trim off the excess, but just an easy way to get kind of that general shape. Now, I never use glue when I glue down acetate because things move, because acetate is a glossy surface, so things move. So for this, I'm going to use my 1/8 of an inch tape. I don't know about you, but whenever I have a roll of this 1/8, it never holds its shape. It's always squashed and falls apart. And I do hate it for that reason, but I do love it for the little pieces that you need to. I can't find the end of this now. There it is. But it's also perfect for this type of application because it just fits perfectly. I know you all have. For those that have the 1/8 of an inch tape, you know what I mean. It just always like, it's so thin, it just bends. And then you take it out of your like craft bag and such, and it's all out of sorts. It's always never in the round shape anymore. All right, so there is that. And now I'm just going to take the backings off, and then I'll put my acetate behind here. Oopsie, I pulled it right off the cardstock. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? Cardstock just ripped right off. That's because I was using my tweezers and I pulled the layer of cardstock. So now I gotta be careful. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna stick and making sure that I have it completely behind that window. All right, so there's that. Any of the excess acetate that may be hanging off the edge, you're just going to trim off. All right, just put your scissors blades right against your shape and then just trim. Okay. All right, I did pretty good with that, I must say. All right, so there is acetate in there. All right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to now place this on here, but we want to pop it up because we want those shaker elements to be able to move. So I just realized I should have checked to make sure I had these. Where are they? I am just getting my foam strips. And of course, they're all mixed up in my. Oh, there we go. Okay. Scrapbook adhesives have these great foam strips, and they're 1/8 of an inch, so it works really, really well for this. So this here, all you got to do is then line it up. All right, and then trim off the excess. All right. I was like having a little panic there that we didn't have any. I didn't have any here. I use these all the time, so when I run out, and I always forget to grab them from the store. All right, so now when you have to do the kind of curved piece here, just remember that foam bends, all right? So just go slowly and just stick it down and just kind of line up the and just follow the curvature of that, and you'll be able to put it on. The goal is, when you make a shaker card, for those that have never done it, is you want to make sure that your foam tape butts up to one another, that there's no gaps that the shaker elements can fall out of. All right, so I've done good here. Now I'm just going to grab a couple of mm, yeah, I'm going to grab some larger foam adhesives, maybe smaller ones. All right, and I'm just going to put some on the little kind of pom-pom on the top here. All right, so now I'm going to get this ready. I'm going to take the backings off. Okay, now because we're using a shape that is the same on here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my piece here with the foam tape and the acetate with my shaker elements, because then we can just line this over top and stick it down. So I have these great from Pretty Pink Posh, and I thought, oh, how fun are these? These are little shaker balls. These are called birthday wish shaker beads. And I like the color combination of this one, hence the why we're doing this, the colors I chose, because I based it on our little shaker elements here. And they're really stuck on the package there. Okay. So it comes in a little Ziploc bag, and a little goes a long way for these. You don't need to put lots in there. Now be careful when you do dump this in, because you don't want any of them being stuck on your sticky foam tape. All right, so I think that's enough. I always, I'll put a little bit more. I always second guess. I always think, oh, I don't want to put too much on there because then they don't move. All right. All right. So then this one here, very carefully, you're going to line this up, and it's going to be tricky for me because the camera's kind of in the way, but I'm going to do my best. Okay. I think I got it. All right. So once you have it lined up, then burnish it really well. Oh, look how cute that is. Oh my goodness. All right, so there's that. Now, the other thing you can do is, before placing this all together, you can also stamp like a sentiment on the base there, so that as the shaker elements move around, the little sentiment would be exposed. So you could have lots and lots of fun. All right, so let's go ahead and decorate this. I'm going to take a little, I cut an extra blue, and that's going to go on top, so to bring in that blue. So we're just going to glue that on. And that will just line up perfectly. All right. And then I cut some of the polka dots on there because I thought it would be fun to glue these onto the acetate. Now, normally I wouldn't glue on acetate, but I am now. All right. So I'm just going to put a few of these on. Just kind of randomly. And let's do one more. I think I'll do a blue one. All right, so there is a quick and easy. Now this little, oh, I guess I put all the, I'm gonna put it green. I put all the blue ones on the one side. Let's even that out. Okay. Okay, so there is my little birthday party hat. And then this, of course, could now be, you know, put on. Actually, you know what? I have some pattern paper here that I think will match. Oh, my little guy fell off here. All right. I was working on another project, but this I think will match quite nicely. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to cut a little card panel here. I'm going to cut this at 4 and 5 1/4, and then I can attach it onto my card base. All right, so again, so now we can put that on there. And maybe I'll use that Let's Party. I'm going to put that directly in the center. I'm just going to glue that on. And again, I will finish this up off camera, put it on a card base. And I think I might use that Let's Party sentiment die that I showed at the very beginning. I didn't know if I was going to use it. Well, guess what? I'm going to use it now. But how fun is that? All right, so there is a cute little party hat. All right, for your card front. All right, so like I said, I'll finish that off. I'll take pictures of it when it's all done and complete. All right, so let's do kind of the same thing. And I wanted to make a gift tag. All right, so I thought this would be a cool thing to dangle from a gift bag. All right, so what I've done is I've cut this party hat twice and I've done the inserts out of there. So we're going to put vellum behind here. And where is that little guy? All right. Oh, there it is. I'm going to use this as a reference point again. All right. So I have a little bit of taping and gluing to do here. So I'm just going to chat about, things. It's cold out there today, everyone. I was hoping to do some gardening today. Um, and get the patio set out, and I don't think I'm doing that. It is much too chilly out there. So maybe I'll just stay in and craft. Okay, so on both of these, I am going to put the acetate. Okay. All right. So I just used my 1/8 of an inch tape. And then I'm going to stick the acetate, and then I'm going to cut off the excess if there is any. All right. So same as what we did before. Now you don't have to use this die all the time for shaker cards. All right. You can just make a great big party hat with it as well. But I love the fact that you can make a shaker card, and I wanted to show you different ways of doing the shaker cards. So all right, so there is my first one. I will trim that in a second. I want to get this one done. You guys are quiet this morning. No questions or anything? I know it's Saturday morning. You're all probably having your cup of coffee right now. I was going to brew one just before I started, but I didn't have enough time. I've already had my first cup of coffee, but I wanted a second cup. All right, so there is that. I'm just going to go in and trim off the excess acetate. I hope this all works out. This was just an idea I had. I'm hoping this all works out. Makes sense in my head when I plan these things. Um, okay, so there is that. Okay, because this shape is pretty symmetrical, what we can do is back this back to back, all right? And that's where the shaker tag is going to be. So you want to make sure your acetate is clean, no paper fibers. All right, so now I'm going to grab my foam adhesive. Now the foam adhesive you only have to do on the one, all right? Because we're just going to sandwich these together. So again, you want to make sure when you put your foam strips down that there are no gaps or openings for your shaker elements to fall out. And remember, when you have a curvature, no big deal, because you just follow the curvature. It's foam. Foam will, that one is kind of like all bent out of shape there. So I want this one here, make it a little bit more manageable. Okay, so now I'm just going to trim off my excess here. Okay, so foam is there, all on there now. Okay, shaker elements. I'm going to take the backings off. I always like to do the backings first, because sometimes if you put your shaker elements in first and then take your backings off, sometimes you cause enough vibration that they jump out and such. That's why I always take my adhesive backings off first. All right. All right. So I thought I would use that Sonic Boom again, because I like it. And it's got some really great elements in there. So I'm just going to go. Ooh, put a bunch of it in there, and I wasn't very careful, so now I got some on the adhesive. And I'm going to just kind of space this out so things are laying flat, because there's some bigger gems in there. And oh, there's this little star stuck right on there. Okay. So you want to flatten out those as much as you can. And now let's put the base on, or the other side. All right. So again, you want to just line this up. Oops, you know what? I'm going to put a few foam adhesives on the top here. Being very careful not to cause enough vibrations for those shaker elements to move around. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, and now we're just going to line this up as best we can. Ah, yes, it did work out. Look how cool fun that is. All right. All right, so how fun is that? Oh my gosh, love it. Okay, so shaker from both sides, love it. Now, of course, we want to decorate this. All right, so I'm going to I cut out some blue toppers for the hat. So we'll just glue those on. You could pop these up if you wanted to. You can even like put it on an angle if you wanted to, if you wanted that little red kind of shadowing, completely up to you. All right. And then I cut out some, I got some stars here from the Cake Pop star set as well, just because I had extras. So, but I thought it'd be kind of cute to glue these on and pop them on. And that's going to give you then an area to put a ribbon on there, and you can tie it onto your gift bag. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead, glue this on, and then pop up this guy. And how fun is that? Now, I don't have no string here, but you could, this is not a string, but you'll get the idea. You could actually tie that on, and then having that hanging from your gift bag would be super, super cute. All right. Now, what you could also do is cut another one as a base one, and then have it not attached to this one, but you could poke a hole, tie them together, and then that could be your signage as well. But how sweet is that? I mean, that would be super cute on a plain craft bag, I think. All right, so there is my other little shaker element. I'll tie some ribbon on there. I'll attach it to a gift bag. I'll find a gift bag that will work with that, just to show you what I mean and how that all worked out. But how fun is that? All right, so that is the birthday hat. I don't know what the name. I should give you the right name in case you're looking for it on the website, right? That is the party hat shaker die set from Pretty Pink Posh. Okay, let me just reset because I know I have quite the mess going on here. But I also want to do a couple of the birthday cakes, all right? And then I will be done. So kind of an extra long one today. Um, okay, so the birthday cake is missing in action. All right, I am going to use this. Oh, there it is. It's hiding. So just for those that are joining in, this is from Pretty Pink Posh, and this is the cake slice shaker die. All right, so this one's got the cake slice, which you can use on its own. Then it's got the overlay to cut the little windows to make it into a shaker. It's got a candle. It's got that little flowery candle base, and then it had some decorative elements for the icing and such. All right, so let's take a look at how this will all go together as a regular piece of cake. As I say, a regular piece. I mean, not a shaker card. All right. Um, okay, so I got some things already prepped here. So this is what the cake slice will look like when it is cut out. I love the little stitching detail on there. All right. And you can have some fun with this one, really. And in terms of your different colors of cardstock and such, I'm going to keep it just as a vanilla cake. All right. Actually, no, it's kind of like vanilla icing. And then what I found is you could cut the little panels out, and that is the die that is meant to do the shaker panels. And then you can actually glue these on here, and that's going to make it look like the chocolate cake inside. But what I did not like, and this is just me being me, is that I did not like how these were kind of raised up, because everything else should be icing. And in my mind, the icing should be raised up where the cake is set back in. Hopefully that makes sense. That's just how my mind works. So what I did is I cut another cake slice, and then I used that die that is meant for the shakers. I laid that in there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to layer these together. All right. And it doesn't matter if they layered over top of those stitch designs. It doesn't matter. And then I cut these out, and these can now go inside, and now everything is flat and it looks better to me. That's just me. All right. So, but this is going to be my little chocolate cake with vanilla icing. So everyone, while I'm just gluing together, what do you prefer? Chocolate cake or vanilla cake? I am totally a vanilla girl. Um, I like vanilla with vanilla. Plain Jane, I guess, but that's what I like. I know a lot of people are chocolate lovers, but I love a good vanilla cake. All right, so I've just glued that in, and now I can go ahead and inset those little chocolate pieces, which is actually the chocolate cake. Chocolate all the way, Michelle says. It's usually you're either one or the other. That's it's not like I won't eat chocolate cake. I will eat chocolate cake. Um, it's just I prefer. I prefer. All right. See, it just sits in there so much nicer. I don't know. It just looks better when you do that overlay. You don't need to do that overlay, but to me, it looks better. All right. So there is our chocolate cake. And we're not making a shaker out of this one. All right. We're just making, look how fun that is. Both. Kelly likes both. She just likes cake. I love it. Good morning, Mary Jo. Uh, so, all right. So there's our cake. And I have a candle here. And so I wanted to show you what you can do instead of cutting it out of a colored candle. Well, there's a couple ways you can do it. All right, so let me just talk about the different ways. You can actually cut it. Usually candles, when we get them, they are white and then they'll have a colored stripe to them. So you can cut two of them out. All right, one in white and one in color, and then you can cut them apart, and then you can glue the colored pieces onto the white pieces. It seems like a lot of work, right? Or you can just take a marker and color it as well. Let's see what I got here. All right, I have an Olo marker just handy here. So this is a pink one. So you can just color it out of white, and then you could just color the stripes on here. Now, I would take my time a little bit better on this, but for time purposes, I'm just going to do just a really kind of rough coloring. Or you could just leave the candle blank as well. But there it is, just colored. All right, so now we have that two-toned candle. And then, of course, I cut the flame out of yellow, not orange, because I don't know what I was thinking, but whatever, we're going to go with it. It's still a candle. All right, and then we can definitely put this on here. I thought I had some more, oh, maybe I'm using it on the other one. I know what I'm doing. Okay. I think I'm going to decorate this with some sprinkles on top. I think that was what I was going for. So hopefully my candle will be okay. All right, so my candle is on there. And I think I will then go ahead and I'm going to just take some of the pink sprinkles, I think, from our mix-ups here, and then sprinkle them on top. Okay, and down the side. Well, maybe we'll just do a whole bunch of different colors. Just for time's sake, we are just going to grab now the sprinkles. I think if I use my tweezers, it might be a little bit better. These are just a little bit more difficult to pick up. Guess I shouldn't have put so many glue spots on here because now y'all have to watch me put sprinkles on a cake. Sorry guys. All right, we have one more card I want to do, and that is using the same cake die, but we're going to put it as a shaker. All right, it shouldn't take me too long to do, but I had to finish my sprinkles on my cake. Okay, sprinkles on cake done. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Again, this is just a base. We're using that Emily Moore design that I talked about there. I'm going to pop that up, and then maybe we'll put the Let's Party on there, but super fun. All right. So there is that. Let's move on. Ooh. All right, this next one, we're going to do same cake, but we are going to do a shaker element to it. Okay. All right, so I cut this out of white cardstock this time. This is a true white cake. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this into a shaker. So I took another cake slice, put that overlaying die over top of it to create our windows. We're going to put vellum behind here. So let's just cut a piece of, not vellum. I said vellum. I meant acetate. You all know what I meant. Okay, again, I'm going to use my 1/8 of an inch tape to just go around. I'm not going to worry about the inside pieces there. As long as your acetate is stuck down, you'll be fine. I think we have a tie on who likes what cakes. So there's people that are definitely vanilla, there's people that are definitely chocolate, and then there's people that will eat both. So I think we have a tie on our cakes. All right, so I'm going to stick my acetate down and then cut off the excess. All right, so And again, when you cut off the excess, just line your blade of your scissor along the edge of the die cut and go slow, and you'll get it that straight edge. All right. You have to go slow though. Otherwise you might cut your cake. All right, so we have the acetate now behind our panel. Okay. And I was supposed to do one thing before I did that, and I was supposed to inset these in so we got perfect alignment, and I did not do that. So now, oh, why did I do that? Okay, so I'm just going to tack this down. All right, because I didn't perfectly align my window on my cake slice to align with the ones that are on the actual base, what I wanted to do is I was going to align these together without the acetate, then stick these in before I put the acetate on, but I got carried away. So I am just going to now, being very careful, I'm going to just kind of do my best to get them on here. So everyone just, hope that these line up nicely. I'm just going to kind of eyeball them. But if you actually glue these and use the windows and place them through the windows before the acetate, then you'll get perfect alignment. I got myself carried away. All right, that looks pretty darn good. All right. So let's take this apart here. All right. Okay, we're ready for the foam adhesives now. All right, so now I'm going to grab my strips here, and let's hope I have more, because this will not do. So again, when you put your foam strips down, you want to make sure that you have no gaps. I'm just using a bunch of my scraps here. These little pieces here are just butting them up to one another. But just make sure there are no gaps for your shaker elements to fall through. Oh, I do have it. I thought I didn't have it. I was like, that's why I was using all my scraps. I didn't think I had another page of these. I was getting a little worried. Okay, so there we go. We have that. Now we are going to get our shaker elements. Oops, I got to cut off the excess there. All right, and this is going to line on here. Okay, so we're going to get our shaker elements now. And I have these guys from Spring Break from Buttons, Glue, and More. These are called sprinklets. They are just little clay shapes, all right? And I thought they would match the color combination I picked here nicely. I'm going to do everyone but the purple ones, all right? So, so I'm just going to open this up and just dump a few here. And sometimes with these type of elements, I don't want to go crazy with these ones. And I will actually add like a chunky glitter. So I'm just going to take a few of these shapes in the colors that kind of match. All right, the blue, the pink, and the green. And I'm going to place them in there. All right. And then I'm going to grab my chunky glitter, and hopefully I have it here. And then I'm going to add with that. So it's just a great little tip if you love this sprinkle mix and you don't want to have it, use it all for just a few cards, then just add a few of them in there and then fill it with chunky glitter. So chunky glitter. So I have, this is just an old one I have here. Diamond Dust would be awesome. Um, So, but it's a chunky glitter. So I'm just going to put a little pile in there. And again, you want to flatten it down a little bit. All right. Don't have a big mound. Might have went a little crazy with my glitter. Okay. Don't have a big mound. All right. We want things to move and make sure everything is contained in the center of your cake. All right. So there's that. All right. Now I'm going to take the backings off of my foam adhesive. And we're going to place this right over top. Now, what I will tell you, sometimes you'll have static on your acetate, and just commit to it, all right? Just when you're placing this down, the static may attract the glitter or your shaker elements, and they'll jump up, and it's like a scary thing. Don't worry, just commit to it. Just ignore the jumping up, all right? So go ahead and line this up. And again, I'm going to do my best. Camera is kind of in the way. Okay, once it's down, go ahead and burnish. I should have put a few more up there, but that's okay. All right, and then give it a little tap, and now we've got that movement. Now I do notice that I have a little bit of foam adhesives just popping out here, so I'm just going to grab my scissors and trim that off. Not a big deal. All right, so there is that. And now we have our little cake shaker. How fun is that? Okay, now I wanted to decorate this a little bit. So what I did is on that cake slice, we have the little kind of the little icing detail. So I just cut that out in the pink so we can put that along the edge of the cake there. And then I also cut a couple for the bottom of the cake here. So there's one that is like a stretch of 4, and then there is one that is there's one that's individual. So I am just placing 2 kind of overlapping. All right, so there is our little cake. And then let's make a cool little background for this because I really wanted to show you the stencil. And then we will be done, everyone. All right, so we're going to do a little confetti one. And this is from Emily Moore Designs. This is confetti layered stencil. This was a really cool stencil because there's 3 in the pack. And they are meant to work together or individually. So the first one will be kind of like a confetti pattern. The second one will be kind of more polka dots. And the third one is streamers. But when you do line them all up together, you're going to get a nice layered look. So we're going to use all 3. And I need to clean off some. Okay, so I've got a card panel here, and I'm going to tape it down. All right. I know you're not going to see most of it, but I'm just using my guidelines on my grid here just to help me out here. Okay, I'm going to take the first one, and I'm going to always make sure that the logo is on the bottom. And I'm going to just use it, and I'm going to use the grids on there to figure out which line I'm using to keep it all positioned nicely. All right, so we're going to go like so. And I'm just going to use my magnet to hold this down. And let's do the first one. We're going to do the first one in speckled egg, which is very similar to the color I have. So I'm just going to use my big blending brushes here, pick up some color. And I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera. All right. And we're going to go ahead and just put some ink through that stencil. Typically, I would not use a brush like this for this, but otherwise, I just chose the big brush because it's easier in terms of when you're on camera. I find a little brush will give you kind of better ink through the stencil. I like these bigger brushes for backgrounds, but with using a little brush on camera, it always takes me that much longer. Okay, so there's my first one. And I'm really doing this quick, guys. So the second one, we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to line this up. And we are going to do this in spun sugar. All right, so very light pink. And again, with stencils, I mean, I'm using ink, but you could definitely do texture paste as well. You could do 2 layers with pink, you could do, or 2 layers with ink, and then you could do that last layer with texture paste to add a little bit of dimension to the background. You can use these individually, or all together, or just two. Lots of versatility. Okay, so there is that. Oh, lovely. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. You can see it a little bit. And then the third stencil is going to be the streamers. And when you do line these all up, you don't have any going over each other. All right, so that's why I'm using the grid lines. I always put the stencil in the same spot and you don't have any overlapping. All right, not that it would look bad if it was overlapping, but it is meant to be so that all those elements do not overlap one another. I just love the designs on this the stencil set because I love the streamers. And you know, even if you wanted to do the confetti, just by rotating your stencil, you could probably do a two-tone effect as well. I love stencils that are versatile and you can do lots with. Okay, so I'm going to call that one done. Oh, look how fun that background is. I love it. All right. So that is just a quick and easy stenciled background in the same colors we did with kind of our cake. And look how awesome that looks on there. Again, I will complete that off camera. I'll use that background. We'll put it on a pretty card, put a little sentiment on there, and then that one is done. All right. So let me just clean up a little bit here. Oh my goodness. Let me just bring in the kind of the things that we worked on today. So we had our little shaker cake and we had our regular birthday cake. Then we had our shaker party hat. Remember, we did 2 of them. And then our cake pops on a wobble. All right. And then we did the cake pop on a waffle flower. So I will complete these off camera. All right. Just the finishing touches, put them on card bases, add some sentiments, and I will take pictures of all of them and then post them on our Facebook page so you can see the finished projects. But this is Pretty Pink Posh, and this is part of their birthday line. There is more to the birthday line, but these are the ones that I chose for today. So that is it for What's Up Wednesday on Saturday. I thank each and every one of you joining us, watching us live and watching us on the replay. We thank you for your continued support as we show you and demonstrate. So everyone, have yourself a fabulous weekend, and we shall talk to you soon. Bye.